The battle to reclaim control of the U.S.-Mexico border from drug cartels is by no means a battle of equals. The Mexican government, historically unable to project power throughout its territory, is outpowered on every level by the United States. But even the American government has limited resources for defending the porous 2,000-mile border against determined, well-heeled, and resourceful drug traffickers.
What you see is a scatter effect. You see a lot of Band-Aids being placed on the problem. You've got so much of this occurring that I'm sure that it's a bandwidth problem. There just aren't enough assets that are along the geography, to include the river, to include the air, to be able to deal with this on a 24/7 basis.
This is a Stratfor Special Report. For the U.S. government, manpower has been and remains the key to defending the southern border with Mexico. But despite increases, there are never enough Border Patrol agents to completely defend the border. Other solutions, including a border wall running through parts of some states and high-tech surveillance systems, are incomplete answers to the problem.
You might have a technology solution, such as surveillance cameras, but you don't have the people to respond to the problem if it is observed. So, for example, a complete technology solution to secure the border is not going to be helpful. All you're going to be doing is watching surveillance cameras of wave after wave of people coming in night after night.
Stratfor's chief security expert, Fred Burton, is a former State Department security agent who recently served as a special consultant to the Texas Department of Public Safety on border control issues. He says the manpower shortages at some levels have led to a system that borrows on a variety of other overtaxed resources to fill gaps.
For example, in the state of Texas, you have Texas law enforcement assets being used to help shore up the federal government's responsibility to secure the border. And then you have National Guard assets which are overtaxed with our war efforts in Iraq and Afghanistan and the war on terror around the globe, to the point where there's not a lot of National Guard assets that you have at your disposal.
Burton also says it's clear that border fencing isn't much help. At best, it only reroutes cross-border traffic, and sometimes doesn't even do that.
Any physical security barrier, you can either go under it, around it, over it, or physically through it.
Another problem is uneven distribution of resources, from one state to another, and between federal, state, and local law enforcers.
You see an absence of federal assets, to be blunt. You see, for example, interdiction efforts that make absolutely no sense to me. For example, the U.S. Border Patrol does not fly at night or on the weekends.
At this juncture, plans are being made to muster more National Guard units to help defend the U.S. border. Deployments could come in early 2010, though many details about the mission remain to be settled. It's not likely that the White House will want a high-profile militarization of the border, which might send troubling signals to Mexico, a key U.S. trade partner.
I think absent the number of U.S. Border Patrol assets to adequately secure the border, you're left with very few options, meaning you do nothing, you put your finger in the dike, which is what we're doing now, or you try to cobble together enough resources from state and local and federal assets to do the best darn job you possibly can. There's not a technology solution. The border is just too big. You're going to need a tremendous number of physical assets, boots on the ground, to adequately secure the border. That's what we've lacked historically. And then, do we have the political will to really want to do this?